This is the question. Control of what and from where and whom?
Yeah, Vigraha. What uses control? Control from our own selves and control from externally also. Both. Any kind of control is useless. If there is no free will, then no kind of discipline is useful, right? Neither can I have any control on myself, nor you have control on myself. What is the meaning? All forms of control. Yeah, Satish ji?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what it means here. Yeah, Vijay ji, go ahead.
So, Guruji, so this intellect that we have, that also is driven by nature.
Now you answered the question.
Yes, probably, but then that's where we exercise that viveka, right? Okay, this is right, that's not right. So how does that happen? How is that mechanism? Is little now getting confused. I thought intellect is there with everyone, but okay, many times we don't use it effectively.
Yeah. So many times we don't use it. Why you don't use it?
Okay, that could be the nature.
That is the nature. That is Prakriti. Many times you don't. You answered your own question. Many times I don't use it means that is my nature. I don't use it. That's all. And so I must learn to use it. So there free will is involved. I must learn to use it means free will is involved very much. Correct? That's it. That is our nature. So that's why that free will is so important, and we have to highlight that. And Shastra makes it very clear. Shreyascha preyascha manushya. Okay. And Katopanishad, beautiful statement. Two paths are given for a human being, Shreyas and Preyas. Correct? And Shreyas means the path of moksha, the path of right, the right path. Preyas means dharma artha kama, no moksha. That is Preyas. Shreyas and Preyas. Tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha. The dhiraha, the viveki, the human being has to see the difference between the two. The Shastra puts the burden on the human being. Burden means what? That person has to see it. God also comes and says, "Oh, I have some great news and this and that, and you are complete." And what will I now? My response, I have to decide how I am going to respond to Krishna. Krishna, I enjoy you. I am your bhakta, but I am full and all that. It's okay. Just come to my help. Whenever I need help, you come to me. That's all I want. I don't need any teaching and all that. This Upanishad and all, you keep it for yourself. And you keep it for Jayakumar ji's classes. And you just come. Help me whenever I want. That's all I'm asking. This is how I will respond. So therefore, the Shastra makes it very clear. We have to use our buddhi, because buddhi is there, makes us different from animals. So intellect, in short, your question, intellect, is the intellect governed by our prakriti? Yes, everything is governed by prakriti only. But that free will is there, and that little gap is there, that little window of opportunity is always there, and which is there. Every child uses that. It's not like we are helpless. We can allow ourselves to become helpless, and so that freedom, that freedom, free thinking. That's why we have to encourage that in children also. We have to be proud. We should not be angry that our children are asking us questions. Why this? Why that? And it can be frustrating for parents when every child asks this question, and 3 children are there, and everybody is driving me crazy. And so, yeah, that frustration is there. But at the same time, no, they're asking the right questions. I may not have the answer for these questions, but they will, because I want to encourage them so they can ask. Maybe I can tell them, go figure out, go to the neighbors, ask this question. It's a good question. I don't know the answer. Go, this uncle is there, that auntie is there, go ask them. Correct? And so encourage that. That's a beautiful thing.
Guruji?
Yeah, 1 minute. Narayan ji, go ahead.
Sure.
So my question was, we say that animals are driven by instinct. And animals, because they work based on their instinct, they don't acquire papa or punya.
Okay.
So why is that same logic not applied to human being?
Because we have free will. Because we have free will.
So is exercising free will leading to punya and papa?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Only free will. Free will only. Because choice, free will, choice, self-consciousness, all these things go together. Free will means choice, and this choice, free will and choice is always, when that is there, the person will become self-conscious. The consciousness also goes together. Animals are not self-conscious.
So
Is that a correction?
maybe not exercising free will is also a free will.
Yeah, that is okay. That is fine. Not exercising choice. Yeah, I have a choice, but you choose not to do something. You choose not to do something, or that is your choice. So the choice is always with you. And yeah, so therefore, papam and punyam comes only when there is that choice given. Yeah, comes with a price. So the people who pays taxes? People who earn money pay taxes. Those who don't earn money don't pay tax. So nobody says, "Oh, do I have to pay taxes? Then I think I better not work for any income." Nobody says that. I'd rather have my income and I'd rather pay the taxes. That's how it works. The package deal it is. Yeah. Okay. Prasad. Go ahead.
Yeah. So regarding free will, having free will or no free will, so I have 3 points. One is, see, the law of karma itself, the action taken is the cause for my present, today's action is because of my past action. So the law of karma, this is determinism, right? So that's what we talk about law of karma. So that's one against the free will, if you look at the law of karma. Now, there are arguments on the libertarian type of arguments, there is free will. Now, Bhagavad Gita also, is it not saying at some later point, maybe in 13th chapter somewhere, that the actions, because of the Prakriti, actions are taken? So that's my second point. And the third one, even Swami Vivekananda, when he said, like, awake, arise, and stop not until you finish your action, right? That's like towards taking action. But he also said that in the network of time, space, and causation, saying having free will is nonsense, he says. So, I mean, there are 3 different points where towards free will, not towards free will. So it is now coming to me like it is or it is not, sort of similar to Maya. So I was deducing in my mind, okay, I came from freedom. Now this is an appearance. Free will is also sort of projection to me. And then I go to the freedom. So that's...
Yeah. So point is, is about free will. And so free will is there until knowledge appears. When knowledge takes place, then you recognize free will also is mithya. Okay, free will is mithya. Then that's why they say a jnani has no free will. The statement is there in the Shastra. Jnani has no free will. That means what? A jnani's life is controlled purely by prarabdha karma. It doesn't mean that person is going to just behave, like an animal. No. But free will is not there, because then that person is free, and there is no person is free, no free will. Okay, free but no free will. So yeah, so there is that thing we will discuss another time. That's how this whole thing is, right? Everything is real, including free will, until everything is seen as mithya. Correct.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether these libertarians and all, whether they understand it and all. I don't know. All these fellows, they have their own funny determinism and all that. And it's so we are going beyond determinism and libertarianism. Yeah. Good point, Prasad.
Thank you.
Okay. So Bhagya.
So Jayakumar, I'm also a little confused with in verse 33 we were saying Prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati, right? So he's telling Arjuna why restrain yourself, right? Act according to your nature. But then there is this Shreyas and Prayas Marga, right? That he's supposed to pick from. I mean, in those terms, Shreyas Marga is the same for everybody, right? Moksha is the Shreyas Marga, right? So I don't understand. He's saying follow your nature, but then we are saying we have to pick between these two paths. So is this
Yeah. So he did not quite say follow your nature. He says beings are all driven by their nature. He said that. Of what use is control? He has said that. He has not said follow your nature. But follow your nature in when we say follow your nature, it's follow. The word follow is an advice, correct? It's an advice, and so do what you like to do, right? Study what you like to study, right? So when we say tell our children, right? Study what you feel you want to be in. I want to be an automobile engineer means you have to study that. So there you follow your nature. That is what there also advice is important because choice is there. There's always choice. So here Krishna is just saying, he is highlighting the fact that there is Prakriti, there is our nature, and we have certain tendencies, and those tendencies drive our life. That's what he's saying. He's not emphasizing the free will aspect, etc. And which will come later, which has always been coming also. And so he's not quite saying follow your nature, but he should say that also, follow your nature. You are a Kshatriya, you're playing your blood, the Kshatriyatvam is there in your blood, and you must do that. That also is correct. That doesn't mean that there is no free will. It's my nature to do what I like to do, and Arjuna is doing what he likes to do. And so Krishna is just reminding Arjuna about that. So we shouldn't carry this. And of course, Shankara is going to say later that we read, no? So if we are purely carried by our own nature, then where is the question of free will? Shankara is bringing that up. Purushaskaraha, he says. Purushaskaraha. And so, yeah. So we will see what the next sloka says and so forth. But I don't want you to be confused in the sense Krishna is just emphasizing that aspect, that our nature. Nobody can change our nature. That is true. Nobody can change our nature. It is true. But in the aspect of Shastram, we have to make that choice. We do make choices every day. Even the guy who says who is carried away by his likes and dislikes does make choices. Every day, right? What do I want to eat? What I want to do? Everything is the person makes choices. The choice is always there. And but we say the real choice is when I choose moksha, when I see the difference between Atma and Anatma. That is where my real choice. That's the real choice. Everywhere else is just, laukika in a life. I like to do this. I like to.
You're choosing different things.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
So Guruji, is this not more a direct? So Arjuna in the earlier Vishad Yoga, he's not wanting to pick up his Gandiva even. And now he's saying if you don't do that, you are really violating your nature, which is a Kshatriya, and you will, go down the path of dark, rather away from your true nature. I mean, I'm sort of seeing that as a continuation of Karpanya Dosha Bhata Svabha, that whole stream of thinking that we have been kind of going through from 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, exactly. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that you may run away from here.
Yes, exactly.
But in Rishikesh, you will be back to your
Exactly.
nature.
And yes, exactly. So to me, I mean, what I'm thinking or absorbing, whatever, is that yes, you have the choices, but you need, and you may choose not to do anything, but if you ignore or if you don't keep your true nature in your, I guess, decision process, you are going to be going down the non-karma yoga path. Is sort of or away from karma yoga is sort of how I'm absorbing this.
Yeah. So we do things based on what. That is why this ashrama and this varna is important. Now we realize why this varna is important. Varna is a guide. So Brahmanatvam, Kshatriyatvam, Vaishyatvam, Shudratvam. It's a guide for us. The guide in the sense when see, parents are doctors. So the child automatically picks up the knowledge of medicine, and the child says, okay, I also want to be a doctor. Okay, so it comes along. So that is varna. That is a varna of the family. Okay, and so like that, our varna, Brahmana dharma, Kshatriya dharma, and all means that varna is there and becomes my guide. Occasionally, what will happen is, no, what I like to do is really not business. My parents are businessmen, all right, but I want to do research. Okay, I want to study more. I want
Yes.
to be a teacher. I want to be a professor. A business person will not be a professor. That person cannot be a professor. Okay, and he's very good in business. So the natures are all different. So Krishna is highlighting that aspect here. And later on also he's going to say Chaturvanyam, Maya Srishtam, etc.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll have chance to talk about this more, Ani. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Balaji.
Yeah, just an observation about free will. I was reading about this mantra trying to convince Kaikeyi, right? So I believe the gods were like so tense that she should somehow convince Kaikeyi. Otherwise, Ramayanam would not go according to the script. According to the script God had planned. So that free will, she had the free will. Kaikeyi also had the free will, but the script was written, and the script had to go in that order, and so the gods were like tense. That's what I read. That she should be able to convince her, and Kaikeyi should say okay, and play the drama. Same thing with Parikshit also. Taking the dead snake and putting it on that Rishanga or whoever that Rishi was meditating. He could have chosen not to put the snake. But he did his free will. If not for that small thing, we wouldn't have had Bhagavatam at all.
Okay, so there in the Kaikeyi's case, that the gods were tense that the mantra should convince Kaikeyi.
Exactly. Yes.
That's an interesting way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how the script had to be, I suppose. So this is said in Bhagavatam.
No, the Bhagavatam is that Parikshit case, where he takes
yeah.
the dead snake and put it. And
Yeah.
if that, and what I'm saying is he had the free will to walk away, not do anything.
No, that other one, that the gods were tense. Where is it written? I said.
That is, I heard it in Upanyasam, that the gods were tense.
Yeah. So, and I see, that's what I'm asking, where it is said. Sometimes it's joyful to hear this. And so that's the poet's imagination. So the gods were tense and things like that. And
You know,
so,
but if you look at it, I think if you see the sequence of history, you feel that everything was for a reason, and that time free will just dilutes because it seems like it went according to the script. But when the occasion comes in present tense, it seems like free will.
yeah.
In past tense, it seems like script.
Yeah, so we don't call all the shots. So free will and karma interplay. This interplay. And what we see is the result of both, right? We can't say it's karma, we can't say it's free will. It's a combination of both. Everything we see is a combination of both.
Very true, very true.
Yeah. So as far as we are concerned, we need to accept that and recognize that. Yeah. Manjula ji, go ahead. Yeah.
In continuation with what he said, I read in one of the scriptures, one of the Devis, either Saraswati or somebody, I don't remember, she goes into Kaikeyi's mind and says to do this, for the Rama to do all that next dramas.
Oh.
Correct. Saraswati sat in her tongue, or Mantra's tongue, I believe.
Yeah. So how do you respond to that, How do we
Adi Daivika Tapa.
How do we look at that?
Guruji, also I have heard about Yadricha, which is so very against free will. Yadricha, everything happens by the grace. Something has to happen. It is always preordained and it happens. Yadricha, which is so much emphasized upon even in the scriptures, no? So what Balaji was saying about this Manthara and Kaikeyi's story, they always emphasize upon Yadricha, the mantra coming into Kaikeyi's room in order to poison her thinking. So free will is so much against Yadricha. So both are two opposite things. So if something has to happen, I feel, as you said, till we are into this thinking of mithya, free will always has a very, it has an importance. And then once knowledge dawns, I think we follow grace more. We recognize grace in every, act of ours.
Yeah. So correct. So it goes to show that despite all the free will we have, things need not go our way, and then without any free will, things can go our way also.
Interaction.
You didn't do anything, and then money comes. Like in Tamil Nadu, 2,500 rupees you get. People are happy. So this is our karma. So they buy votes. So without doing anything, many people are getting money also. They are very happy. They love Tamil Nadu very much. And so like this, we have, lottery ticket, this and that. So without free will, you can get stuff. And with free will, nothing happens, right? Karma at work. So both are possible. I think the model is excellent. Karma and free will model is very good. And it's very logical.
Interaction effect.
Definitely. Both are involved.
So is it like when you recognize there is a higher reality working towards everything, then the free will just goes, it is sidelined?
Yeah. So the free will, correct. So especially knowledge. When jnanam, the Jiveshwara Aikya jnanam takes place, then you recognize everything, the entire order as Ishvara, and I am part of the order, and their free will is there. There is an enlightened ahankara. Remember, we talked about ahankara before. Okay, an enlightened ahankara is there because every wise person also has a name, and you call that person, the person responds. That means the person knows who he or she is. So there is a individuality there, but the individuality is recognized as mithya, and so then free will is there, but the free will is recognized as part of the prarabdha karma. That's a karma. Why did you do this? I don't know why I did this, and this is how it was meant to be. So that person truly understands that this is how it's meant to be. Whereas for the rest of us, it's an attitude. It's an attitude. We have to look at it like that. We have to constantly remind ourselves, no, this is how things are, and let me accept it as prasada. Correct? That is karma yoga buddhi. It's an attitude. Correct? Attitude becomes knowledge later.
Thank you.
Good. Maheshji, go ahead.
Continuing on what Balaji said, so from the same token, whatever Parikshit did, also some God drove him to do that. Even he could not have walked away from that scene. Just as you say that or Saraswati forced Manthara to do something. I mean, we can argue that was his prarabdha karma, so he had to do it. Sorry.
No,
so
that is
I
why.
don't know. There is you can argue whether
that is why
or somebody drove him to do it.
That is why they're all poetic. Saraswati sat on the tongue is a way for us to remember that, hey, Ishvara is very much there, and everything is happening because of some reason. And it's not like these gods are fighting with each other, because then Saraswati will come. Then again, then Dakshinamurti has to say, who are you, Saraswati? And don't you know who I am? And I am the first teacher, and he can come and fight. And this fight will become big. And so that's a beautiful way of saying. Saraswati sat in Manthara's tongue means it says, hey, dharma can be misused. Dharma can be misused. And so Manthara is an example. And how she can phrase her arguments and how she can be persevering. All this we learn, it's possible. And even Saraswati can't control it. And the Dharmaraja also can't control any of these things. And things happen. And Rama, our beloved Rama, had to be sent to forest. What kind of a dharma is this? Where Bhagavan Sri Rama has to be sent to the forest. And so it's beautiful.
But then wouldn't be like you do whatever you think your free will is, and then things turn bad. You say, oh, it's not my fault because my prarabdha drove me like that.
So how do you respond to that, Maheshji? How would you respond?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. So,
if your children come and tell you
I
that,
don't know whether free
yoga, right?
driving it, some karma is driving it.
Ishvara Prasad Buddhi, right? And Ishwaratma.
I mean, it's all, anything bad happens, just like what happened in US last week. So you can say, if a good thing happens, you can take credit. And if a bad thing happens, you can say, that is my karma.
Yeah, so that kind of thinking is also your karma. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it is, I don't know. So
yeah, so we have to be, that karma is always there. So that's why this karma yoga buddhi is so important. Now you see, we have to apply that rules all the time, not selectively. Selectively bring in karma. Karma is useful. That's why they say karma is a shock absorber. Whenever things don't work in your favor, karma is just greatest shock absorber. Okay, it's my karma. What should I do? And you just hit your head and then you move on, right? So karma is a great shock absorber.
Yeah, you can say karma is a shock absorber, or say prasada buddhi is a shock absorber.
Okay, fair enough. So karma, initially karma, later on prasada buddhi. Yeah. Good. Maheshji, that's good.
On the other hand, all these are all tactics of devatas, right? I mean, of course, they do it for some good. There's another story of Vrutrasura where how finally it becomes a Vajrayuda. The Vajrayuda is made from that Muni. So Vrutrasura is the Rakshasa who has to be born out of Agni, and Saraswati come and change the mantra, right? So that it is not against Indra, but Indra would kill the Rakshasa. So, I mean, I don't know whether I want to take all these into the framework of realm of our the karmas, which are as human beings here.
Yeah. Remember, the devas are not any different from us when it comes to free will and karma. Okay, this we have to keep in mind. We cannot go by what the comic strips say. Okay, even Indra is threatened by you and me. Okay, the minute we come and talk about Vedanta, Indra and some people will be threatened. The moment some king does yaga, Indra is threatened, because yaga, Vishwajit yaga means this fellow is not Samrat, and then he is now next. He is ruling the earth. Now, what is the next place to rule? Indra Loka only. So Indra is threatened. He will put some spokes in the wheel of this Samrat. So that's why Indra also, Uma Devi teaches Indra. Kenopanishad. Indra is also an Ajnani. He is playing a role. Whether he is a Jnani or Ajnani, he has to decide. But Indra is playing a role. And so all these fights between Devas, Asuras, and all these things, we take it exactly like it, which is that they are also subject to the same raga dveshas that we are subject to. Okay, same thing. They just happen to live somewhere and their world is described differently. That's all. That's the only difference.
Yeah, I mean, Indra is also always paranoid about something happening anywhere. So, I mean, all the things always he's worried about anything happening.
Yeah, he has spies all over. He has spies all over.
He's very, what do you call, suspicious.
Insecure.
Yeah, insecure. Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for that word. Yeah, he's very insecure.
Karna's case and all.
Yeah. So therefore, that tells us that that gives validity to this knowledge that Krishna is teaching also. And everybody, even devatas, have to study somehow or the other. Narada comes and he studies, right? Chandogya Upanishad. What a moving thing it is. That Narada, you would think that Narada would say, I'm sad. How can you imagine Narada saying I'm sad? It's so difficult to understand. So anyway, point is that all these stories are meant to inspire us and bring us to the Shastra. Good, but nice, Balaji. Good points made today. So let's conclude. It's about 8:05 here. Any other? Let's see, chat message. Okay. So yeah, Vijayji is saying we should pray to the Lord to give us better way to use our free will. Yeah, that's fair. That's a correct statement. So free will is like a knife. So it can be used properly or it can be abused. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalasahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Thank you, Jayakumarji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Jayakumar.
Thank
you. Dhanyawada.
So Vijay, I'll make
breakout room.
I'll make you a host. Yeah.
Dhanyawadaha Guruji.
Dhanyawadaha.
Thank you.
Pongal wishes in advance and namaskaram, Guruji.
Pongal wishes to everybody.
Thank you.
Tomorrow,
Happy Pongal to everybody.
Happy Pongal.
Tomorrow.
All of you
Happy Sankranti.
Happy Makara Sankranti. Mashwaya ji.
Shivaya. Okay, can you, Vijay, can you stop the recording? I think I forgot to stop the.
Yeah.